Hello everyone, welcome to Intermediate 2, Unit 2. Hope everything is just going fine. Well, Lesson 2.1, Part 1. Today, God willing, we'll be covering page 12 and half of page 13. Up to exercise 1E. All right, 2.1, lesson 2.1, technology. Reading. 1A. In the table below, some parts of speech are omitted, are left out, deleted. Provide them in the blank areas. Fill in the blanks. Well, everyone, check out the table here. Okay. So we have some categories. We have verbs, we have nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and collocations. Well, first of all, I'd like to go over the answers. Then I'll come back to each part. We will have some definitions and some example sentences. So the first one. The noun form is bias, bias, adjective, biased, biased. Next one, the verb form is assault, assault, noun, assault, assault. Next, illusion, illusion, illusionist, illusionist, elusive, elusive, illusory, illusory, retrieve, retrieve, retrieval, retrieval. Next one, novelty, novelty, T-Y, and the adjective, novel, novel. Categorize, categorize, I-Z-E, category, category, categorical, categorical, categorically, categorically. Stimulate, stimulate, stimulation, stimulation, stimulus, stimulus, stimulating, the adjective form, stimulating. And by the way, we have stimulative, so stimulative and stimulating. Scramble, scramble, unscramble, unscramble, scramble, scramble. And the adjective, scrambled, scrambled. The last one, cognition, cognition, cognitive, cognitive, cognitively, cognitively. Okay, bias, the first word, everyone, bias. Bias is a singular noun, everyone. It is an uncountable noun, which means an opinion about someone or something, about a group or idea, or how good or bad it is. So, bias. The collocations, you see here, we say show bias or have bias or political or racial bias. Political is the adjective form of politics. Okay, so political is the adjective form of politics, and racial is the adjective form of race. Then we have with a bias against women. With a bias against women. The adjective form is biased. Biased. Biased means unfairly preferring one person or group over another. Unfairly preferring someone or something over another. The collocation biased against or towards or in favor of someone or something. Some examples, everyone. Political bias in the press, in the newspapers, in the magazine, on the internet. Or students were evaluated without bias. They were evaluated without bias. Another one, it's clear that the company has a bias against women and minorities. So, has a bias against women and minorities. For biased, of course, I'm biased, but I thought my daughter's paintings were the best. Or racially biased attitudes, opinions. New reporting that was heavily biased towards the government. Or the government has accused the media of bias. The government thinks that the media are not fair. Reporters must be impartial and not show political bias. Or there was clear evidence of a strong bias against her. Another example, there has always been a slight bias in favor of or towards employing arts graduates in this company. Well, next one, assault. You know, assault is a noun which means physically attacking someone. Physically attacking someone. Everyone, the noun and the verb forms are the same. So assault and assault. So when you assault someone, you attack them. And assault as a noun means attacking someone. So we have assault against, on, or upon someone or something. Or we have carry out or commit an assault. So the action of assaulting, carry out or commit. Some examples, everyone. A case of robbery and assault. He was jailed for assault because he assaulted someone, for example. Victims of assault or some assaults on women. Several soldiers have been charged with assault. An unsuccessful assault on the enemy lines attack. The refugee camp came under assault again last night. Or for carry out or commit an assault, she admitted to committing the assault, attacking. Next one, illusion, illusionist, elusive, illusory. The collocations: be under or have illusion. So when you are under or when you have illusion, you means you have the wrong idea. Illusion of power or illusion of space, optical, visual, and we have dangerous illusion. So everyone, illusion as a noun means an idea or opinion that is wrong. An idea or opinion that is wrong. For example, they suffer from the illusion that they cannot solve their problems. They have this wrong idea. She was under no illusion that he loved her. To be under illusion means to have it. It is an illusion that the architect is dark in winter. It is an illusion, something wrong. She had no illusions about her physical attractiveness. And I hate to shatter your illusions, he said. Illusionist, everyone, illusionist means a magician, someone who performs tricks with objects. They just appear and disappear things. So illusionist. Think of Chris Angel, for example. He is an illusionist. He is a magician. Elusive or illusory, everyone. They are the adjective forms. They have the same meaning, by the way. Elusive and illusory. They have the same meaning. They are synonyms. So, elusive or illusory mean not real, based on illusion. Based on illusion. For example, their hopes of a peaceful solution turned out to be illusory or to be elusive. Or he was unlikely to be satisfied with the illusion of power. Illusion of power. Or the mirrors in the room gave an illusion of greater space. They create or they give an illusion of space. It means they make the room look larger, bigger. Or credit creates the illusion that you can own things without paying for them. Okay? Or she was under the illusion that he loved her. She thought that he loved her, but she was wrong. Okay? Next one, retrieve. The noun form is retrieval. Retrieval, A-L. Retrieve something from something. Retrieve, everyone, means to find something and bring it back. She bent down to retrieve her purse. Or retrieve something from something. It took 4 days to retrieve all the bodies from the crash. Retrieve all the bodies from the crash. Retrieval. It is the noun form. Everyone, retrieval means the process of getting back information. The information you have stored on a computer. For example, a new system that should speed up information retrieval, getting back the information. Next one, novelty is the noun form. The adjective is novel. Collocations, novel idea, approach, method. Well, novelty as a noun, novelty means the quality of being new, being unusual, interesting. For example, the novelty of the ideas, or many toys have no attraction beyond their novelty value. Or it was fun for a while, but the novelty wore off, the novelty disappeared, it became boring. Novel as an adjective means not like anything known before, kind of unusual, interesting. So novel ideas, approaches, methods. What a novel idea. Okay, novel. Next one, of course, categorize, categorize, category, categorical, and categorically. The collocations, categorize into and put something into a category. Well, everyone, categorize, the verb form means classify, to put things or people into groups according to the type of person or the type of thing they are. For example, the population is categorized according to age, sex, and social group. We categorize something or someone as something. For example, David doesn't like to be categorized as a socialist. Categorized. Category, the noun form, everyone, means a group of people or a group of things. Category. For example, there are 5 categories of workers, or people in the over 45 age category, or seats are available in 8 of the 10 price categories. Then categorical means, everyone, a categorical statement means a statement that is clear and that is definitely true or or false. Okay, so a categorical statement is a clear statement that something is true or false. Well, we say categorical denial, categorical assurance. For example, can you give us a categorical assurance that no jobs will be lost? Categorical assurance. Categorically is the adverb, which means in such a sure or certain way that there is no doubt. For example, we categorically deny, refuse, or categorically do something. For example, he has categorically denied his guilt all along. Or, can you state categorically that her death was caused by a lack of food? Categorically. Okay. One of the collocations here, put something into a category, or we say fall into a category, belong in a category, or fit into a category. For example, voters fall into three categories. You can put voters into three categories. Or William's style does not fit easily into the category of jazz. It doesn't fit, it doesn't fall, it doesn't belong. You can't put it into the category of jazz. Next one, stimulate, stimulation, stimulus, stimulus. By the way, the plural form of stimulus is stimuli, L-I. The adjective stimulating or stimulative. The collocations stimulate growth, stimulate demand, intellectually stimulating, visually stimulating, electrical stimulation, auditory, sensory or mental stimulation. So, stimulate. Stimulate means to grow, to encourage or help an activity to develop, to begin. For example, we stimulate growth, we stimulate demand, we stimulate the economy. The president's plan, the US president's plan to stimulate economic growth. Yes. Stimulate has another meaning, everyone. It means to encourage people, someone, by making them excited and interested. For example, her interest in art was stimulated by her father. Her father encouraged her. Or we stimulate someone to do something. An inspiring teacher can stimulate students to succeed. Stimulation and stimulus are the noun forms. For example, children need variety and stimulation. The adjective form is stimulating. Yes, stimulating or stimulated. Stimulated or stimulating. Well, everyone, stimulating means exciting, full of new ideas. It can be opposite of boring. So stimulating means not boring. Stimulating discussion of world politics, or the stimulating effects of coffee and tea. All right. Well, intellectually means related to brain, mind. Visually means related to sight, vision. Electrical, electricity, electrical. Auditory, related to the ability to hear. Sensory, sensory, relating to the senses, sight, touch, feeling. Mental, related to mind. Okay, next part, we have scramble, unscramble, scramble as a noun, and scrambled. The collocations, scramble to do something or scramble for something, unscramble TV signals or sentences, and scramble somebody's brains. Well, scramble means to go up and down or over something very quickly, okay, or to move in a quick and awkward way. For example, they tried to scramble up the hill, or she scrambled down the tree as quickly as she could. Yes, scramble. Or Alan scrambled out of the way, or Mike scrambled to his feet. It means Mike stood up quickly. Well, everyone, scramble to do something, as you can see here, it means try to do something difficult. Scramble to do something. For example, they were scrambling to give the impression that the situation was under control. They were trying hard. We scramble for something. Thousands of people will be scrambling for tickets. Yes, they were trying hard to get tickets. You scramble someone's minds, someone's brains. Yes, everyone. It means to make someone confused, to make them unable to think clearly or reasonably. For example, the alcohol has scrambled his brains. So scramble someone's brains. Unscramble means, for example, we unscramble TV signals or sentences. It means to change TV signals or messages which have been sent so that it can be seen or read. Okay, we unscramble them, and we unscramble sentences. You put them, put the words in the correct order to make some clear sentences. The last one, cognition, cognitive, and cognitively. We have cognitive activity, cognitive function, and cognitive problem. So, everyone, cognition means the process of knowing, understanding, and learning something. Cognition. A synonym can be thought. Thought. For example, the regions of the brain that are responsible for memory and cognition. Cognitive is the adjective form. It means related to the process of knowing, understanding, or learning something. For example, cognitive psychology, or some of her cognitive functions have been impaired, damaged. Cognitive behavior, cognitive development, and we have cognitively, which is the adverb form. Exercise 1.1b. Talk to your partner about the times you multitask. Do you think tasks are done carelessly when you multitask? Well, everyone, by the way, when we multitask, it means we do different things, yes, at the same time. Multitask. For example, you watch TV at the same time you do your homework and you listen to music. So, doing several things at the same time. The verb is multitask. The person is called a multitasker, and the noun form is multitasking. Well, for me, I don't think I'm a good multitasker. You know, I can't focus well. I just feel lost and confused. I just feel agitated and frantic, turning from one task to another. I feel lost. I keep making mistakes. I don't know what is going on. And for me, multitasking is just a waste of time. But I think women are traditionally supposed to be good at multitasking. You know, they babysit, they cook, They have a phone conversation, so they're pretty good at it. 1C. Read the passage on the next page and check the writer's idea about multitasking. Okay, we will, but let's do exercise 1D. Then we will read the article on page 13. God willing. 1D. Complete the sentences using a word formed from the letters given. You see the letters here? So you're supposed to come up with words to fill in the blanks. Number 1. Enough jibber jabber from me. Let's get on with the story. Everyone, jibber jabber is a noun which means rapid and excited speech that is difficult to understand. Jibber jabber. Get on with means continue, go on with. Get on with. Number 2. Rumor has it that he will take a year off. Rumor has it that. A rumor is information or story that is passed from one person to another, usually about the life of other people. By the way, rumor has it that means there is a rumor or people say that he will take a year off. He's not going to work this year or next year. For example, when you say, I'm going to take Monday off, it means I'm not going to work, I'm staying at home, for example. Number 3, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you the greatest kitchen appliance ever made. Appliance. You know, appliance, everyone, means a piece of equipment. A piece of equipment. We have electrical appliances, we have household appliances, for example, coffee maker, stove, I don't know, cooker, refrigerator, you name it. Number 4, there is a certain diabolical quality about him. Diabolical. Diabolical or diabolic means very unpleasant, bad, nasty. Diabolical or diabolic. Number 5. Did you have to become an expert juggler for the role? Juggler. Expert juggler. Expert means professional, not an amateur. And juggler means someone who juggles. You know, they move objects, they keep the objects moving through the air. So a juggler, by the way, juggles. Expert juggler. Number 6. In that situation, an animal has 2 choices, options. Fight or flight. Fight or flight. Flee, run away, escape. 7. A man armed with a pistol hijacked the jet yesterday. Armed with means having. Pistol is a small gun, is a handgun. Well, when you hijack an airplane, for example, you take control of it using force, hijack. Number 8. People always talk about how humble he is, Humble means modest, not selfish. His modesty is proverbial. Proverbial. Modesty is the noun form of modest, not being proud, not being full of yourself. Yes. Proverbial, everyone, means well known by many people. Number 9, a good show should entice a new audience into the theater. Entice means to attract, here, attract. Persuade people to go somewhere, to do something. And by the way, as you know, audience means a group of people who are listening to something or who are watching something. Audience. And finally, number 10, making a complaint is quite a simple procedure. Complaint, everyone, is the noun form of complain. When you are not happy with a service, you complain. Make a complaint means to complain. So, complaining is quite a simple procedure. Procedure means a way of doing something. Okay, page 13, everyone, multitasking. By the way, before we start reading the text, I'd like to share some photos with you. Okay, yeah. So, check out these pictures, everyone, because we have the words in the article, so it would be essential to understand the words before we start reading the article. Well, we have a guitar tuner, everyone. You know, it is an application you install on your cell. You can use it to play the guitar. So here you can see it. This is a guitar tuner. You can enjoy just playing the guitar. You tap the numbers here, and it is good experience. Guitar tuner. Next one is appointment calendar. Appointment calendar. You know, you just take notes of your appointments, your meetings. Appointment calendar. This one, this is a Swiss Army knife. Swiss Army knife. You see, everyone, it has a knife, can opener, scissors, a saw, I don't know, magnifier, pliers, everything really. So, all-in-one gadget. So, this is called a Swiss Army knife. Next is striatum. Striatum, everyone, is an area, is a part in our mind. Striatum. And by the way, this is scrambled eggs. You know, remember we had scramble in the word chart on page 12. Yes, scrambled. And we have scrambled eggs. This is the one. Next is prefrontal cortex. Prefrontal cortex. It is an area in the brain. This area is called prefrontal cortex. You see this guy, he's a plate spinner. You see the plates here? He's just spinning the plates. He's a plate spinner, and He looks quite professional. He's not an amateur, you know, amateur and professional. So a plate spinner. Next one, this guy is a juggler. You see the balls in the air. So he's juggling. Juggle and juggling. Well, this one, everyone, this is called a Game Boy. Game Boy, you know, it is this small machine we use for playing video games. I remember having one when I was a child. I used to play lots of games on my Game Boy. So this is a Game Boy. This one, this let's say purple area, this part is called hippocampus. Hippocampus. It is an area in our brain, hippocampus. Okay. All right. So, multitasking. Remember, I just described multitasking, doing several activities at the same time is called multitasking. A person who multitasks is a multitasker, everyone. Now, paragraph 1. Just a minute, sorry. Okay, yeah, here we go. Our brains are busier than ever before. We're assaulted with facts, pseudo-facts, jibber-jabber, and rumor, all posing as information. Trying to figure out what you need to know and what you can ignore is exhausting. Our smartphones have become Swiss Army knife-like appliances that include a dictionary, web browser, email, Game Boy, appointment calendar, voice recorder, guitar tuner, weather forecaster, and GPS. We text while we're walking across the street, catch up on email while standing in a line. So, our brains are busier than ever before, so we have a lot on our minds. Our minds are always occupied, and it is natural. We're assaulted with facts, so there are a lot of facts, there is a lot of information. Pseudo facts. Pseudo means false information, information that seems to be important but it isn't. Jibber jabber. Remember on page 12 we had jibber jabber, means rapid and excited speech that is not serious, and rumor, which means information passed from one person to another, all posing as information. Again, all here means facts, pseudo facts, jibber jabber, and rumor. So all of this is kind of information. It comes to us as information, and we are assaulted with all this information. We just receive lots of information. Trying to figure out what you need to know, trying to understand, to realize what you need to know, and what you can ignore, not pay attention, just forget about, is exhausting, is tiring. It can be a pain in the neck. Our smartphones have become Swiss Army knife-like appliances. You know, smartphone, I'm sure nowadays many people have smartphones. They have become Swiss Army knife-like appliances, gadgets. Remember the picture I showed you, the picture of a Swiss Army knife? It means our smartphones have almost everything. So, Swiss Army knife-like appliances, gadgets, tools that include, that have a dictionary. So there is a dictionary, or of course there are lots of dictionaries on your cell phone like mine. There is a web browser. You can check your email. There is a Game Boy. You can play lots of games. There is appointment calendar. You know, you can just jot down your appointments, your meetings. There is a voice recorder on your cell phone. You can record the voices. And there is a guitar tuner. It's an application. Do you remember the picture? You can just use it to play the guitar. There is a weather forecaster. You can use it to check out the weather. Yeah, you know, weather forecast, it means to foretell or predict the weather. And finally, there is GPS. GPS means Global Positioning System, everyone. Global Positioning System. You use it especially when you're traveling or driving to find your location or to get to the destination fast and quickly. We text. We text means we send text messages while we're walking across the street. When we are crossing the street, we're moving from one part to the other. We text each other. We catch up on email. We check our email. Everyone, catch up on something means to do something you didn't have time. For example, this weekend I'm going to catch up on some sleep, or I'd like to catch up on reading. I'd like to do some reading because I didn't have time to do it. So we catch up on email, we check our email while standing in a line, and you know, stand in a line. All right, next paragraph. But there is a fly in the ointment. Although we think we're doing several things at once, multitasking, this is a powerful and diabolical illusion. Earl Miller, a neuroscientist at MIT and one of the world experts on divided attention, says that our brains are not wired to multitask well. When people think they're multitasking, they're actually just switching from one task to another very rapidly. And every time they do, there is a cognitive cost in doing so. So we're not actually keeping a lot of balls in the air like an expert juggler. We're more like a bad amateur plate spinner, frantically switching from one task to another, ignoring the one that is not right in front of us, but worried it will come crashing down any minute. Okay, but there is a fly in the ointment. Everyone, when they say there is a fly in the ointment, it means there is a problem. There is something wrong. There is something that spoils, prevents us from being successful. Although, even though, despite the fact that we think we are doing several things at once here means together at the same time. That is multitasking. So multitasking refers to we're doing several things at once. Although we think we are multitasking, this is a powerful and diabolical illusion. Okay? So this is not correct. We are thinking we are multitasking, but in reality we aren't. So it is like an illusion. It is not happening, everyone. Earl Miller, a neuroscientist at MIT. So, Earl Miller is a neuroscientist. Everyone, neuro means related to the nerves. So, he studies the brain at MIT. MIT stands for Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And one of the world experts on divided attention. So Earl Miller is an expert, is a professional on divided attention. Divided attention means multitasking. It means when our mind focuses on different tasks and ideas at once. So, says that our brains are not wired to multitask well. So, according to Earl Miller, the neuroscientist, our brains are not wired to multitask well. Our brains are not formed, designed to multitask well. We can't multitask because our brains are not made to do so. When people think they're multitasking, when people think they're doing several things at the same time, they're actually just switching from one task to another very rapidly. They're just changing from one task to another very quickly. And every time they do, and every time they switch, they change from one task to another, there is a cognitive cost in doing so. We miss something, everyone. We don't pay attention. Yes? We get distracted. There is a cognitive cost. We are not fully focused on the task. All right? And every time they do, there is a cognitive task in doing so. So, we're not actually keeping a lot of balls in the air. So, in fact, therefore, in reality, we are not focusing, we are not doing several tasks at the same time. We are not keeping a lot of balls in the air like an expert juggler. Like here means such as. And remember, juggler, I showed you a picture. I hope you remember it. Someone who juggles, just keeps some balls in the air. We're more like a bad amateur plate spinner. Again, we had a picture of a plate spinner. So we are like a bad amateur, not professional plate spinner. We frantically switch from one task to another. So we change from one task to another, ignoring the one that is not right in front of us. We don't pay attention to the task, to the plate that is not right in front of us, but we feel worried it will come crashing down any minute. And our brain is occupied, we feel anxious, nervous that the plate will crash down any minute. So you see, multitasking puts us under a lot of pressure. We are not focused, we get distracted easily, there is cognitive cost, and it is not efficient at all. Yes? We just feel completely lost. Okay, the last paragraph, everyone. Multitasking has been found to increase the production of the stress hormone, cortisol, as well as the fight or flight hormone, adrenaline, which can overstimulate your brain and cause mental fog or scrambled thinking. To make matters worse, The prefrontal cortex has a novelty bias, meaning that its attention can be easily hijacked by something new. The proverbial shiny objects we use to entice infants, puppies, and kittens. Ross Poldrack, a neuroscientist at Stanford, found that learning information while multitasking causes the new information to go to the wrong part of the brain. If students study and watch TV at the same time, for example, the information from their schoolwork goes into the striatum, a region specialized for storing new procedures and skills, not facts and ideas. Without the distraction of TV, the information goes into the hippocampus, where it is organized and categorized in a variety of ways, making it easier to retrieve. So, multitasking has been found to increase the production of the stress hormone cortisol as well as the fight or flight hormone adrenaline. So, everyone, when we multitask, multitasking increases the production of a hormone, a stress hormone called cortisol, as well as means in addition, and also the fight or flight hormone, adrenaline. So adrenaline is a hormone, everyone. It is the fight or flight hormone, fight or escape, flee hormone. So multitasking can give rise to these two hormones. So what happens? Which can overstimulate your brain, just occupies your brain, causes problems for your brain, and cause mental fog. It causes confusion. It causes lack of understanding, thinking clearly, or scrambled thinking. Again, confusion. You can't keep focused. You can't pay attention. You just feel lost. Well, to make matters worse, what makes the situation worse? The prefrontal cortex has a novelty bias. Everyone, prefrontal cortex is a part of our brain. Again, I showed you the picture. So this area of the brain has a novelty bias. What do we mean by the novelty bias here? It means its attention, the attention of the prefrontal cortex, can be easily hijacked, taken away by something new. So when there is something new in an environment, in a place, we easily get distracted. The attention can be easily hijacked. The proverbial shiny objects we use to entice infants, puppies, and kittens. Just think about some objects, some well-known objects we use to attract, to take the attention of young children, young dogs, and young cats, infants, puppies, and kittens. Ross Poldrack, a neuroscientist at Stanford. So, Ross Poldrack is a neuroscientist at Stanford University in the United States. Well, Professor Poldrack found that learning information while multitasking causes the new information to go to the wrong part of the brain. So very important for students. Remember, when you learn something and at the same time you multitask, what happens to the new information? Everyone, the new information goes to the wrong part of the brain. So it is not a good idea to multitask while you're studying, according to Professor Haldrack. If students study and watch TV at the same time, you see multitasking. If they multitask, for example, the information from their schoolwork goes into the striatum. Again, we had a picture of the striatum. Striatum is a region, an area specialized for storing new procedures and skills. So it is an area used for keeping new procedures and skills, not facts and ideas. Without the distraction of TV, if there is no TV, if you don't watch TV, the information goes into the hippocampus, another area of the brain. Again, I showed you the picture. Where it is organized and categorized. So where means in this area in hippocampus, the information is organized and categorized, classified in a variety of ways, in different ways, making it easier to retrieve. So everyone, when we say some information is easy to retrieve, it means that you can easily remember it. Okay, so remember not to multitask while you're studying. A good piece of advice for students, because it goes to the wrong area. Okay, 1E. Answer the questions. Number 1. Why does the writer liken smartphones to Swiss Army knife? You know, smartphone, and you remember Swiss Army knife. Liken, everyone, means to compare. We liken something to something. So the writer likens smartphones to Swiss Army knives because they have multiple uses. Cell phones have multiple uses, like Swiss Army knives. They have dictionaries, web browsers, I don't know, GPS, guitar tuner, Game Boy, you name it. Number 2, according to Earl Miller, the neuroscientist, how are our brains designed in terms of multitasking? So, according to Professor Miller, our brains are not wired to multitask, if you remember. For example, when people think they are multitasking, they are actually switching from one task to number 3. What is the cognitive cost of multitasking according to Earl Miller? Well, according to Professor Miller, when we multitask, we ignore the task and we just worry about other things. We feel distracted. We are like an amateur plate spinner, feeling worried that it will come crashing down anytime. Number 4, what 2 hormones are increased while one multitasks? So remember, whenever we multitask, it gives rise to 2 hormones called cortisol and adrenaline. And number 5, what happens to the new information when multitasking? When we multitask, what happens? So, whenever we multitask, the new information goes into the wrong place in the brain. So, it might be lost, or we can't retrieve or remember it easily. Okay, well, on page 41, everyone, page 41, there is a vocabulary bank. So just a minute. Vocabulary bank exercise. Okay, page 41. Here. Yes. Okay, yeah. So, page 41. Technology. Page 41. Choose a word from the box for each sentence to complete it. Now, let me read out the words. Pseudo, pseudo, entice, entice, bias, bias, frantic, frantic, amateur, amateur, diabolical, diabolical, cognitive, cognitive, juggler, juggler, stimulate, stimulate, novelty, novelty, assaults, assaults, scramble, scramble. Well, let's complete the sentences. Number one, the number of violent assaults in the city has reached an all-time high. So, assaults, attacks. An all-time high, everyone, means the highest level. The highest level. Number two, the toilets were in a, we need an adjective here, a diabolical state. Diabolical means very unpleasant, bad. So the toilets were in a terrible condition, situation, state. Number three, some of her, again, because of functions, we need an adjective here. Some of her cognitive functions have been damaged as a result of the accident. As a result of means because of. Cognitive functions means she's suffering some mental damage maybe. So some of her cognitive functions. Number four, the banks are offering special low rates in an attempt to entice prospective customers. Low rates means low charges in an attempt to trying, and prospective, potential, possible. Number five, she dismisses astrology as pseudoscience. Dismiss. Dismiss means you think something is not as important as astrology. Everyone remember, in astrology we just study about the stars, planets, astrology. So astrology as pseudo science, kind of fake, not real science. Number six, a juggler was entertaining the crowd, turning 3 oranges in a circle. A juggler. What does a juggler do? A juggler juggles. Juggles to entertain. Entertain means amuse. Number seven, it's clear that the company has a bias against women and minorities. You know, bias, false idea. Minorities, a group of people of different races, maybe religion, nationality. Number 8, Mickelson won his first major golf tournament while still an amateur. So while he was still an amateur, he won his first major golf tournament. Amateur is the opposite of professional. Number 9. Your mother's been frantic with worry, wondering where you've been. Your mother has been frantic, nervous, with worry. She's been too worried, wondering where you've been. Number 10. The article can be used to stimulate discussion among students, to start discussion, to make them discuss it. 11. It was fun for a while, but soon the novelty wore off. Novelty being new, different, unusual, wore off, it disappeared, it faded away. 12. Learn how to make perfect scrambled eggs with this easy recipe. Remember I showed you a picture of scrambled eggs, and recipe means cooking instructions. You know, a cookbook is full of recipes. Well, everyone, that's it. This is the end of our session. Hope you've enjoyed our program. Remember to practice reading the words, read the article once or twice, as many times as you think is necessary, and remember to provide a summary. Well, until next time, have a good one. See you.